parents, guardians, students, and guests into the BIMTECH family. Moving ahead, I would like to request Dr. Chaturvedi, Director BIMTECH, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Good evening, our chief guest, Dr. Ajit, Ranade, our guest of honor, Ms. Bhavna Batra, my colleagues from DICE, Dr. Alpo Verma, Director, Dr. Arun Aditya Sahai, Lead Research, and Professor Ajit Chaturaj, Student Welfare. Our great pleasure in extending to you all a very warm welcome to the 35th Commencement Day program of Birla Institute of Management Technology, Greater Noida. When I am saying extending to you all means not only our esteemed guests from the dais, but all the parents and all the students who are joining BIMTECH today. So may I request all of you to give a big applause to this great beginning. For us, this is a very significant moment. This is the 35th commencement day. And this campus was started in 2004. So almost 18 years we have completed here. And this is significant because it is giving us another opportunity to groom, guide, and mentor 450 plus young students and to give them a better, good opportunity for shaping their career. I am delighted to see the newly admitted students and their parents hailing from almost all parts of our country. I feel extremely happy that you have selected BIMTECH with the hope of getting the best possible grooming and mentoring in management education for your child. Warm welcome to all of you once again to the Diksharam of the 2022-24 batch. Again, I will request to give a big applause to this. We are very fortunate to have in our midst very inspiring leader from the Indian industry and academy to motivate the budding managers with their thoughts and experiences and offer some inspiring guru mantras. The chief guest for today's concern, Dr. Ajit Ranade. Currently, he is Vice Chancellor of Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics, Pune. This university has an illustrious history. It was started in 1930, completed more than 90 years. It was started by some of the close disciples of great freedom fighter, late Gokhale. The name of the society was Servants of India Society. Dr. Ranade's career has spanned both academic and corporate assignments. Till recently, he was Group Executive President and Chief Economist, Ajit Group, an Indian multinational conglomerate with global turnover of around $60 billion and presence in more than 35 countries. He writes regularly on economic policy in the financial press. He is a co-author of a recent award-winning book, Rising to the China Challenge. Dr. Ranade holds a BTech from IIT Mumbai, MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, and PhD from Brown University, USA. A formidable combination of 2 Indian and 1 US institution of higher education from the university. But there is another introduction of Dr. Ranade. He is our mentor and coach. The last 10 years, as a member of the Board of Governors, he has been asking tough questions. He is a soft-spoken person, but when a board member, he asks tough questions. and we have learned a lot from him. I have seen him one of the marriage of Birla family, that our founders, late Prasanth Kumar ji Birla and late Sarla Birla ji, they were talking to him almost 20 minutes, and he was sitting with them as his son. So I observed that Bonhomie, and we take advantage of his proximity and his relationship with our founders. Thank you, Dr. Ranade, for helping us and pointing. Now about Miss Bhavna Batra. I have some connection. I will come to the later. She is our guest of honor. She is a passionate learner and transformation enabler and alumnus of MDI Gurugram and Knowledge College, Kolkata. She has worn multiple hats over the years, the roles of Global HR, currently as Executive Director of People and Global People Programs, leader with S&P Global, which is full name is Standard and Poor Global, and very previously as Vice President HR with Genpact, and consulting as Managing Director, Management Consulting with PwC, Business Head with SSM, and with Growth Talent Right Management. So I think she has been working with some of the top-notch consulting firms of our country, as well as S&P, which is a multinational company, and it is doing various kinds of businesses, and she has been very passionate about giving back and spends time with multiple these schools and universities as guest speaker and district faculty member. And the interesting fact about my connection or BIMTECH connection with her is that both BIMTECH and Bhavna ji, they were having the same mentor, late Padma Shri Dr. P. Kamsi. So again, we are remembering one of our mentors, late Dr. P. Kamsi. On behalf of all of you, I extend a very hearty welcome to Dr. Ajit Ranade and Ms. Bhavna Batra. May I request you to all of you to give both of them a big applause. Let me say a few words to welcome our respected parents who have reposed their trust for building the future of their wards. I have met some of them after the devotional music program or even in my office. I love to meet parents, and I want to know my students from the personality of the parents. So I found them very trustful for BIMTECH. They have been, child may be having several options, but they have decided to admit their son or daughter at BIMTECH. So we are really grateful to them for reposing their trust with this institute. I welcome all the parents who are coming from 22 states and even from outside India to our institute today on the 35th commencement day. Hearty welcome. Now, I have to tell you some of the facts about the new batch 2022-24. My admission office, my colleague, Dr. Chancellor has given me some figures, and the figures speak itself that BIMTECH is a mini India in itself. Now, I will not say that it has become mini India today. For last 15 years, 18 years, when we have landed here from Delhi, we are having very humble infrastructure there. We are not having the residential campus. We have built a state-of-the-art campus in 2004, and this has given advantage to us to bring students from all parts of the country. So we can, with all humility, can say that it is a mini India itself. Students in this batch have come from almost every city or town of the country, from Solan to Thrissur, and from Bharuch to Jorhat and Dibrugarh. Starting to get the best learning opportunities. We proudly welcome students from 22 states having an eclectic background and impressive profiles. 36% of the students are from states other than northern India, Hindi-speaking states. So we do not say, and we do not like that only Hindi-speaking people should study here. We want states of all regional culture of India, which is a rainbow for the whole world. Rainbow of culture, India is a rainbow of culture. Our gender ratio in this batch has improved this time. It has 40% female and 60% male students. 16% of students are with quality work experience. The new batch consists of 57% students coming from commerce, 21% from engineering background, 20% from science and humanity. This is very affirmative from the diversity point of view, and I would like to say that BIMTECH seriously believes in diversity. We seriously believe in sustainability, and we seriously believe in inclusion, that BIMTECH or any school cannot remain isolated from the harsh realities prevailing with the vulnerable and poor communities of our country. And we have seen during the last 2 years of COVID that how everybody suffered, but our poor families and poor communities suffered, I think, maximum. So we have a lot of empathy with them and we work with them. I will tell you later. Let me also take this opportunity to share our recent achievements and initiatives which will make you proud of being a student of BIMTECH. This is, I am addressing the students from the new batch. Our recent achievements are some very important achievements in the community of business schools in our country. I'm glad to share with you that your institute has been granted category 1 graded autonomy by the AICT Ministry of Education Government of India. Only 3 other institutions, top institutions, have got this status. These are Chancellor, Jamshedpur, SC Jain, Mumbai, and IMT Ghaziabad. So it's a big matter of proud for us. There are 2 national bodies for accreditation in higher education. Accreditation means how your quality of teaching and overall quality of your services are rated by the users as well as all the stakeholders. So there are 2 government bodies which are called NAC and NBA. In 2008, we started our work with it by getting accreditation from NBA for all our programs, and then also got accreditation, which is institutional accreditation from NAC. We are in the final stage of ACSD accreditation. After completing the accreditation from national bodies, we have shifted our focus to international bodies, and there are 3 bodies in the world: ACSD, EFMD, and AMBA. So we started with ACSD, and our accreditation application is on the final stage with ACSD USA, and we are hopeful that within this year, 2022-23, a decision will be taken by ACSD, and hopefully it should be a positive decision. So this I am sharing with parents and students, that your institute is trying to build the brand BIMTECH not only among the top institutions in the country, but outside India also at global level, because out of 15,000 these schools which are in the whole world, only 900 institutions are accredited by AACSB so far. It is considered an international golden standard in management education. Your institute is trying to get that golden standard. Your B school is also credited for setting and mentoring a new university, Batra Global University at Bhubaneswar, Odisha, under the auspices of our parent body, Birla Academy of Art and Culture, Kolkata. It came into existence in 2016. This is very unique that a B school, a college has created a university. University can create college, but here a college has created a university. This is very interesting, and BIMTECH has done it. The faculty group has made it possible. We are also a responsible business school. As I told you that we strongly believe in sustainability, inclusion, ethics, and the gender equality is very important for us. We have set up two NGOs. One of our colleagues, Dr. Ajit has taken lead in setting up two NGOs, Ranade Society and BIMTECH Foundation, to help the poor people of the country from villages and slums, and also the poor people who are suffering in jails. In 14 jails of UP and MP, we have set up libraries which have been appreciated a lot by them. We have also one very unique facility which can be utilized by our students. This is Ajit Incubation Center. In 2018, it started. It's working from BIMTECH campus. In India, there are only 50 Ajit Incubation Center set up with the funding from the NITI Aayog, which was earlier known as Planning Commission. I am happy that AIC Ajit Incubation Center of BIMTECH has been considered one of the topmost Ajit Incubation Center in the whole country, and even the CEO of the NITI Aayog has spoken very highly about the quality of services being rendered under the leadership of AIC BIMTECH, Dr. Srimati Abbas. COVID-19 has created a unique situation for exponential growth of online education in the world. To take strategic advantage of this opportunity, we have started the Center for Online Studies, popularly known in our circuit as schools, and we have launched 2 years online teaching program in partnership with Upgrade in January 2021. Already more than 350 students have joined this program, which is approved by AICTE. You may also be aware about 4th Industrial Revolution. This is, I think, very important for everybody, and those who are familiar with the changes in the technology, they will be knowing it very well. World Economic Forum has been talking since 2015 or 14. First time it was coined, this name was coined by the former Chancellor of Germany, Merkel, and 4th Industrial Revolution is now the new normal in the industry worldwide, including in India, also in agriculture, also in services. Your institute has moved in this direction and set up a new center named Center for Business 4.0 under the leadership of Professor Sunil Sangha. This new center has developed some new courses in consultation with the industry leaders and introduced new courses for study by students. So here I would not go further, but definitely I would like to give two promises, I should say 3 promises to the parents. And number 1, your institution will not fail in its commitment to protect the health and safety of your wards. We have one of the most supporting environment in our verdant campus for our students here to deliver a top-notch B-school curriculum, pedagogy, research, and mentoring. So we take full responsibility of the students who have landed today or yesterday in our campus. Every student is precious for us. If they are precious for their parents, they are precious for BIMTECH too. Number 2, we have developed our teaching learning models by doing a lot of research on post-COVID best practices adopted by some of the best universities and B-schools of India as well as from abroad. All faculty members have undergone all kinds of trainings to teach online, offline, or in hybrid or blended mode. Not only our faculty members have been trained at IIM Ahmedabad or other IIMs, they have also been trained by Harvard Business School. During last 2 years, we have taken initiative and we have thought that we should try to know the best of the practices in online, offline, and hybrid teaching practices. But surely the new batch will be taught, what you guess, online or offline? Raise your hands, those who are in favor of offline. So I think all students are in favor of offline. Parents are neutral. So I am with the students, all of you will be taught offline, of course. Of course, technology will be extensively used. So online will also be used as one of the tools, but your classes will be offline. Okay? And third is about placements. Every parent, every student, whenever they come to BIMTECH campus, they ask and they go to the placement office, and a poor chap, one of my colleague, Professor Ajit Sharma, is receiving hordes of parents and students. Placement kaisa hoga? So I will publicly declare that placement is always an outcome of the economic conditions and the performance of the students. There are two factors. What will happen in the economy? ये मैं नहीं बताऊंगा, डॉक्टर रानाडे बताएंगे, क्योंकि रिजर्व बैंक को बताते हैं कि इकोनॉमी कैसे चलती है. And of course the performance of the students. And I cannot deny the role played by the faculty in the performance of students. So faculty will not spare any effort. BIMTECH will not spare any effort to provide best of the knowledge in management and best of the experiential learning in management to our students. We will not spare any effort to work towards quality placement. By using this formula, that we are hopeful, we are confident that the economy will also do good. Because we have suffered a lot during the last 2 years. Economy has also nosed down by -7%. Now, there are some structural factors. Dr. Ranade will tell you what will propel Indian economy as one of the topmost economy of the world. So, next 2 years will determine the destiny of Indian economy, and also our students will ride on this bandwagon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this motivating address. I'm sure that all the students present here are highly encouraged and motivated and they are ready to put their best foot forward in coming 2 years. So, dear students, once again, I would like to share with you all to never be afraid of fear, because fear is going to sharpen you, it's going to challenge you, it's going to make you strong. And when you run away from fear, please note you are running from the opportunity to be best of yourself. Always remember one thing, that behind every young child who believes in himself or herself is the parent who believes first. So you are here to not only go for your own aspirations, but also to fulfill the dream which your parents are seeing today, and you have to achieve this in coming 2 years. The BIMTECH faculty fraternity is going to deliver the best of their efforts so that you achieve your goals. So big round of applause for the parents, those who believe in this thing and send their voice to the BIMTECH family. Now, before I invite Ms. Bhavna, Batra, guest of honor for today's ceremony, I would like to very briefly introduce her with you all. As Sir has already mentioned, that Ms. Bhavna is a passionate learner and a transformational enabler. Her major role is if I'd say, be it mergers or acquisitions, preparations or listing of firms, or enabling the organizations to ramp up and grow. Ms. Bhavna has worked with organizations across diverse sectors and stages of growth. She is passionate about building the future-ready enterprise ecosystem and talent. And her philosophy, the leadership philosophy, I would say, is anchored on Charles Darwin's famous word, and I quote, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is one of the most adaptable to change." And with these words, I would like to request all of you to please put your hands together as I now invite Ms. Bhavna Batra to kindly share her thoughts with
you. If I'd known that there was going to be something over here, I would have worn flats instead of heels. But it's always good to be slightly more elevated, because then I have the benefit of seeing all of you. Thank you so much, Professor Chaturvedi, for having me here today. It is an absolute pleasure to be speaking to you. About 16 years ago, I was on the other side of the fence, attending my commencement day speech at NDI, and it's been quite a ride. What I want to speak to you about today is actually just a few experiences. These are my experiences. I hope you find some interest in them, because at the end of the day, each one of you will sculpt your own experiences, your own way, right? When we were talking about what I should speak to you about, I think the first perspective that came up was, what is the next 2 years going to bring? What should our students be prepared for? And the one word that I can say you will all experience without doubt, not just for the next 2 years, but probably for the rest of your life, is change. This is a time of significant change. A time when, honestly, no organization is sure of what is going to happen even a few months down the line. And the reason for that is the rapid pace at which things are evolving. If we just look at the kind of change that has come about thanks to COVID, you'll find that in many ways it's shaken the foundations of how business happened. From a time where people had worked, for example, with the same provider or the same vendor for many years, today you have an example where a diversified supply chain is getting discussed, where you're not just looking at multiple vendors, you're also looking at multiple vendors on multiple continents, not just countries, but continents, to be able to guard against some of the uncertainty that is there, right? When we think of the world of work, and of course, Professor Ranade is going to share the more technical view, I'll give you the practitioner's view. When I look at the world of work, I'm actually hugely excited by the possibilities that are there. And the reason that I'm excited by these possibilities is today, no one can say, I've achieved everything. Because in this time of change, everyone is learning together. Everyone is rethinking their experience. Everyone is rethinking what it will take to make things work, what it will take to make things successful. And therefore, I would urge you to be extremely buoyant, extremely open to possibilities and opportunities. With that openness, however, comes the fact that possibilities and opportunities will not come to us the way we may expect them to. Just if I go back to, I graduated in political science honors. And when I graduated, so I was sharing that I come from 3 generations of defense forces. So my father's from the Indian Army, both my grandfathers were from the Indian Army, and numerous others. When I was graduating in political science, my view for myself was actually to do my master's in international relations and become a diplomat. Thank God that didn't happen. I don't think life often goes the way you expect it to go, right? What I started doing immediately after my graduation was I started working in a business process re-engineering firm, a firm which made me work with multiple industries across multiple countries outside India. And as I worked, I realized that no matter how beautifully constructed a strategy may be, if you don't have people who are ready and who are passionate to bring that strategy to life, that strategy is just going to remain on paper. You look at some of the most prolific organizations today, and for me, a prolific organization is one, of course, judged by the financial performance of that organization and how they continue to not just grow but also sustain in tough times. But the other anchor that I very often use to judge organizations is how many leaders have they created? How many leaders have they contributed to the industry that they are a part of and to the larger ecosystem that they serve, right? And what you will realize is the possibilities are endless. I realized that human capital, and I don't, particularly believe that human beings are resources, but I truly believe that human capital and the quality of human capital is the biggest strength for organizations to leverage. So as you think about the opportunities that exist in the ecosystem, Also think about how are you capitalizing on them. Today, there are enough and more examples of people, of students who are completing their higher education and who are struggling to be a part of industry, who are actually struggling to make a place for themselves. And the reason for that is three, four factors, right? And these three, four factors translate into some factors that I will share with you as expectations that you may like to set for yourself. Expectation number one, how do you constantly learn? Some of you have work experience, some of you are freshers, all of that is useful, right? But how do you actually use the tremendous opportunities that this August Institute is giving you to really add value to yourself? Because remember, it's only by adding value to yourself that you can add value to your organization or the organizations that you hope to be a part of, or maybe even create in your own right someday, right? Adding value to yourself links up to a second expectation, which is the one big thing that you will build in life, the one big thing that will help you in good times and tough times. Any guesses what that is? Sorry? Confidence, okay? Yes, please. Knowledge, okay? Connections, beautiful. I'll use a different word, relationships. Your relationships are the ones that will help you learn, that will help you get comfort when you are seeking comfort or you're seeking answers, that will help propel you to new heights. Leverage this opportunity to build stronger relationships, right? I will tell you, so I'm from the first PG HR batch of MBI, 2004, 2006. We were 52 of us that were part of that batch, and Dr. Preetham Singh was our director, and he was always very positive that it doesn't matter that you're the first batch. Everything that you will do over these 2 years will prepare you for the world out there. And that's been exactly right. Today, when I look at my batchmates, all 52 of us are doing very diverse things. We have one person who's actually become a health and wellness guru. She has her own health and wellness practice. We have several people who are acknowledged heads of HR across the industry. We also have a bunch of people who are now widely read authors, right? Some are here, some are spread all over the world. And yet this batch is bound so tightly together that anytime we are even contemplating policy changes in our respective organizations, we get a perspective from each other. This is the biggest wealth that you could have. And you're actually really lucky because after 2 years of the pandemic where we were really restricted in interactions, you have the opportunity to come back and do an in-person MBA. What could be better? What could be more energizing? This degree, I'll be completely honest, you can pick up a lot of the theory through the online mode. But what you are learning here are life skills. What you are going to experience here are people who are role models in their own right. Your faculty, for instance, are people who have spent years perfecting their learning, perfecting their craft. The industry people that you interact with come with some experiences that will be interesting. How do you soak all of that in? And how do you build relationships and continuously learn? That's the other thing that I leave with you. The third thing that I want to speak to you about is problem solving. In industry today, one of the big things that we look for are problem solvers. When we look for our teams and when we look for people who will work with us and colleagues, we look for people who don't just have the ability to say, this is not working. We look for people who have the ability to leverage different aspects of thinking, of learning, of relationships, of knowledge, and say, this is not working, but these are the three possible solutions, and this is what I recommend. Bring a point of view. Build your problem-solving skills. So the programs that you attend, it is easy. I still remember 8:30 a.m. programs, specifically in winters, were the toughest for me personally. I had to honestly battle the need for sleep with the need for focus on those attentions. But in every program that you attend, in every class that you attend, in every piece of work that you do, in every assignment that you complete, please have a tangible takeaway for yourself. And that will require you to challenge yourself. Because in your first term, you'll have the rest of your study life ahead of you. In your second term, that's when activities will, start picking up. In your third term, you'll be gearing up for exams and summer internship, and that story will never end. So build that rigor for yourself, build your problem-solving skills, because that is what will differentiate you in an industry that is looking for people to come not just with native intelligence, but with well-honed problem-solving skills. The fourth aspect I want to leave for you is, don't just think for yourself. Don't just think about yourself. Think about how you can contribute to your ecosystem. There is an opportunity for you not just to study, but to also participate in multiple extracurriculars. Make sure you leverage that opportunity. Debate, get involved in inter-university, inter-college events to the maximum extent possible. Get involved with CSR activities. Give back. It's never too early to start giving back. Think about your ecosystem and the value that you can create in that ecosystem starting today. There is no better time, there is no better muhurat to start giving back than today. So start doing that, right? And don't just think of this as 2 more years of education that is about the books. It's about so much more than the books. It's about this entire experience that you're so blessed to have, right? So if I were to summarize it all, I would say I would trade anything to go back to where you are today, because the world is just so full of possibilities. The world is just so full of opportunities. One of my favorite quotes, and this may surprise you, but if some of you have seen this movie, it's called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's a very simple movie. I'm seeing a lot of heads nodding. In that, there is one line which is said, which I love to quote, which is that invention is 93% perspiration, 6% inspiration, and 1% butterscotch ripple. You will never ever be able to achieve anything without perspiration. So sweat it out. As one of the advertisements said, dirt is good. I think it's a Surf Excel or Ariel or one of those ads, right? It is good. Get your hands dirty. Get out there and get it done. Experiment, explore. Even if you fail, it's worth it. Because it's better to fail fast than to constantly keep thinking about it. We don't have the time. And we certainly don't have the luxury to constantly think about things. In a lot of organizations, you would feel that the mantra is fail fast. Explore, experiment, get it done, learn from it, move on. Don't make the same mistake twice. Right? So put in the perspiration. The 6% inspiration, by the way, it can come from everywhere. Personally, I derive a lot of inspiration from cooking. And I find that, no, I don't cook on a regular basis, but I do cook when I'm stressed out. And I find that the opportunity to experiment with colors and flavors lends itself into the kind of people experience programs that I very often discuss with my teams. So look for your inspiration in a way that works for you. It is unique. It has to be linked to your purpose. And it's fine if your purpose is not understood by the world at large. You have a right to your purpose. So look for that inspiration in ways that make sense to you, right? And leverage the entire ecosystem for that. And that 1% butterscotch ripple, just have fun on the journey. Don't take yourself too seriously. This is, like I said, one of the most exciting phases of your career. Always answer a few questions for yourself before you take a decision. Question number one, if what you are doing was printed in the newspaper and was read by your parents, would you be okay with it? More often than not, that will give you the answer. Question number two, in the last 3 to 6 months, what have you done for the first time? And what have you learned for the first time? And if the answer is nothing, well. And question number three is, have you started your journey towards what you are passionate about? And it's perfectly fine at the beginning of your lives and careers to have 50 things on that list. Over time, with trial and error, with experiments, it will narrow down. Let's start that journey today. It's absolutely a pleasure to see you. More, it's a pleasure to see your parents here because they are here as your personal cheerleading squad. And I'd just like to wish all of you all the very best. Remember, it's a very, very exciting world. There'll be ups and there'll be downs, but that's how the heartbeat also works. All the very best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for this illuminating and thought-provoking. Sharing piece of advice in terms of commitment and lifelong learning for all the students with a 4 piece of advice. And if I talk in the language which today's Melani's talk about, there are 4 hashtags which she has given to you. Hashtag 1, she said, learn constantly. 2, hashtag add value to say. 3rd, hashtag problem solving skills. And 4th, hashtag think about the society. Thank you so much, ma'am, for these words for the students. Thank you. Now moving ahead, before I invite Dr. Ajit Ranade, it's a matter of privilege to have Dr. Ranade as our chief guest for the commencement day batch 2022-24. I would very briefly like to introduce him to all. Dr. Ranade is the Vice Chancellor of Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics in Pune. Till recently, he was a group of Executive President and Chief Economist Aditya Birla Group. He is a member of Apex Committee of Industry Chambers such as CII and FICCI. Dr. Ranade is co-founder and trustee of Association for Democratic Reforms. He is also a founder member of Pune International Center and a senior fellow of Takshina Institute of Bangalore. He writes regularly on economic policy in the Financial Express. Please put your hands together as I now invite our esteemed chief guest to kindly share his thoughts with me.
Thank you, Ms. Neemu Sharma, for the very kind introduction. So, my fellow panelists, Bhavna, the absolutely unique and irrepressible, ever young Dr. Harivansh Chaturvedi, Dr. Anupam Verma, Dr. Sahai, Dr. Ajit, senior colleagues and faculty from the institute, and of course some senior staff members I see, parents of the students, incoming students, and of course dear students. So, very good evening to you all, and let's begin with a warm, very loud applause for the incoming batch. So one of the hashtags which I think Meenuji missed was hashtag relationships. Bhavna, you said, when you are here in the college next 2 years, also develop relationships. I got that, hashtag relationships. So यहाँ पे parents, I saw some parents scratching. उन्होंने पहले सुना BIMTECH Chaturvedi जी के girl-boy ratio of almost 50-50. So they were thinking, बाप रे, relationships मतलब क्या होगा 2 साल के बाद. So be prepared for some other kind of celebration in the next graduation. Anyway, but really congratulations from 22 states of India, really a huge, very diverse representation here. And I'm especially happy and really, I'm very impressed that the parents have come here And it's really a lot of love and affection and respect for this institute. So thank you all for giving us this respect. It's wonderful. You know, the parents, thank you, thank you. मुझे याद आता है that वो when a little kid, छोटा लड़का है तो उसको मम्मी अच्छी तरह से जल्दी जल्दी उठो तो टेक के बाद फिर बात करने के बाद अच्छा वो नया प्रेस वाले कपड़े पहनते हैं and then school uniform and then अच्छा पाउडर लगाते हैं nice लड़की को छोटा बच्चा सरकार को previous night itself the boy is very excited. Mummy, first day of school I'm going, So it's a lot of celebration, they're just looking forward to that date. And then उस दिन जाते हैं तो that बच्चा she's taken to the school and first day सब ऐसे welcoming होता है जैसे करते हैं principal says oh come here little boy come. Then ये अपनी classroom होता है then sometimes they take him upstairs to canteen होता है इधर ये होगा ये lab होगा and several hours later the boy comes home. So mummy बोलती कैसा था school? Wonderful, great. So great, he's very happy. Sometimes mummies and daddies are worried कि बच्चा रोएगा उसमें. Batra is very happy. So सब कुछ हो गया. Then in the evening as usual he goes to play, he's having fun. Then mummy calls him for dinner. So dinner वगैरह सो जाता है. And this next morning she wakes him up. अरे चलो उठो जल्दी स्कूल जाना. Again. So then little does he know that he has to go for the next 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. So ऐसी बात है. So first day is all nice and smiling. आपको ये 2 साल करना है. So anyway, it's a nice, when they say, Dr. Chaturvedi asked you, how many for offline? I said, बहुत सारे हाथ ऊपर गए. Dr. Chaturvedi, you don't know. What they meant is, हम लोग हॉस्टल में रहेंगे और वहां से हम ऑनलाइन करेंगे. They wanted to be offline from away from their parents. हाथ पकड़ के यहाँ पे लाए हैं. They wanted to see. Isn't that the best of all worlds? यहाँ पे हॉस्टल में रहो, फिर वहां से ऑनलाइन अटेंड करो. Anyway, I don't want to get into the bad books because they have treated me so kindly. And all this faculty sitting here, all this, don't spread this kind of rebellious ideas. No, anyway, seriously, but I've been, as I said, I've been really blessed and privileged to have been associated with this institute. And I've seen, of course, I've been in the earlier days. But basically, with tremendous and determined and relentless effort from everybody, the director, his colleagues, the faculty, they steadily gone up the ranks. So in the domain of private sector MBA institutes, management institutes, it's really among the top 10, I would say top 5 in the country. So congratulations to you. So you absolutely have made the right choice. Because, and of course, I'll say a little bit about placement. On that count, you should absolutely not be worried. But on day one, 2 years later means 365 into 2. So 730 days. So don't think about 730th day today. But I'm telling you that you being here and in the kind of cohort that you are, not just in the business school, but in the cohort that you are in the Indian population or in the labor force, you're always a tiny minority which is going to do well. So on that front, we'll talk about later. But really, I've seen BIMTECH's rise to greater and greater heights, and they are never satisfied. There's always something new. As he said, there's some association of prayer. He mentioned Dr. Rishi is here, her utterly integration, the journey of how it is now among the topmost in the country. But they don't stay there. BIMTECH doesn't believe in sort of resting on its laurels. So you keep climbing. कभी-कभी उड़ के देखना नीचे आप. But Chaturvedi, please allow them some very leisure to look back. कि कहाँ से हम आए? We should celebrate. But there's always newer heights to gain. So that's a great thing, and I'm very happy to be associated with them. So I want to spend a few minutes talking about the economy के बारे में. They put me on the spot. Incidentally, I want to also mention that we have a special presence here, a parent who also He's an alumnus himself, and he's a member of the board, and he's actually the chairman and president of our alumni association, Mr. Alok Gupta. And I think this is so special welcome to you. He's from, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first batch, and now his son is Alok Gupta here. So if he can also stand up and take the honors. देखिए वो पापा के पास नहीं बैठा होगा he already offline Mr. But I'm happy to have him here because he has been very active also in leading the alumni connection, because for any institution which is now celebrating its 35th year, the mass of alumni is also big, and that's a huge amount of goodwill, huge amount of people want to be connected, and for you people when you graduate, this is also a network you need to tap into. She talked about relationships. This is also a relationship that you should. The network of alumni, they're all going to be in various very important positions in the organization. Don't forget this very important resource, and they have a very active alumni association. So Dr. Chaturvedi put me in this spot. He was like, "Sir, economy के बारे में ये बताएंगे." ऐसा थोड़ी होता है. Yeah, I'm not given in the invoice yet. उसकी कोई fee लगेगी. But in a lighter vein, see, the economic headlines are always misleading. I don't know whether deliberately so or by the nature of the subject. On 1st of June, so today we are on 18th of June. See, the economy quarterly data, the GDP growth, is reported as soon as the quarter is over, typically with 2-month gap. So January, February, March, the economy was expanding, and then that data comes to us in end of May. Then April, May, June, economy is expanding. That data will come to us on August 31st. Then June, July, August, that data will come to us on October end. So those many gaps are there, but then you know how the economy was doing. So 31st May ko sham ko, the government of India will publish the statistics. The GDP growth was this point. Next day's headlines will tell you first is going well. So I just took 2 newspapers, okay, and I'm not making this up. When you guys go and check Google or the old 1st June, Times of India and Indian Express. Side mein rakhiye. And 1st June, because 31st May sham ko GDP data was released for January, February, March. So the headline, the front page, each headline was about GDP growth. Dr. Shettigar is here, a senior economic teacher. And also policy maker. So you'll see the 2 headlines. The Times of India headline said, India at 7.5% is the fastest growing economy in the world. Same data. Indian Express said, the Indian economy crawls, CRAWLS, crawls to the slowest growth in 4 quarters. We start strategy. Economics of essays. Why do they have to make simple things complicated? What is the reality? The reality is both the numbers are correct, but the way you portray it. So it's not a question of a glass half full or half empty. You want this question, right? Is the glass half full or half empty? What is the answer? Half full. जो लोग एकदम optimist रहते हैं बोलते हैं half full, pessimist रहते हैं बोलते हैं half empty. But the scientists both are correct statements. Because it's exactly 50% full and 50%. So the correct scientific correct way of saying it is both. It is half full and half empty because it's exact. But I'm not going into those scientific statements. Basically, what had happened is from April of 2021 to March of 2022, right? There are 4 quarters: April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, then again January, February, March, right? So the last quarter of this is called the financial year. It goes from April to March. So last financial year का जो data आया था January, February, March. Indeed, in that quarter the growth rate was something like 4%. Indeed. And उसके बाद अभी जो quarter चल रहा है, मतलब April, May, June. So June end, this quarter will end. It is possible that the growth rate for this quarter, which we will know only in August, is even lower than 4%. But the year began at 20%. Last year, from April, May, June of 2021, which was unfortunately, that was the second wave, right? That was the second wave. But this year, because uske previous saal, it was the height, the pandemic and the lockdown. 60% of the economy was shut down. Pura shut down. We were all stuck at home. All the urban services, the factories were running, but basically nothing. Restaurants were closed, airlines were closed, hotels were closed. So it was shut down. So obviously that year was GDP in fact contracted by 25%, minus 25%. That was April, May, June of 2020. So because that because that time the economy was shrinking, so when you say the economy is growing at 5%, so it is 5% more than last year. The explanation is 5% compared to 12 months ago. आपका क्या चल रहा है? So the growth rate refers to a 12-month period. So because in April, May, June of 2020, economy had actually gone down. So any improvement would be a huge improvement. So therefore, in April, May, June of 2021, the reported growth rate, despite the second wave, was 20%, 20 or 21%. उसके बाद जो next quarter आया, April, May, June के बाद July, August, September, that was 8%. Then that was June, July, August, then September, April, May, June, then July, August, September. So it went on from 20% to 8%, then 6%, that was October, November, December, and then January, February, March of this year, it was down to 4%. So 28, 6, 4, something like that. So it is indeed crawling. So when Indian Express said that Indian economy crawled to 4%, they are looking at this trend. It is dramatically going down. But it is also true, if you take the average for the entire year, it is 7.5%, which is the fastest in the world among large economies. So both statements are true. My point is, this first point takeaway is that don't get misled by these headlines. Go into the data, be more scientific, be more analytical world. That's what BIMTECH training is going to teach you, right? All the faculty are here too. Because the headlines can be very misleading. I'll give you another example. NDTV पे आएगा, जो भी था, CNBC पे आएगा. CNBC will say the stock market crashed and there was a wave of selling today. 1,000 points, 2,000 points गिरा. तो बोलते हैं ना, the stock market, Bombay Stock Exchange, stock market crashed to 5,000 points. Wave of selling. क्या मतलब लोग stock बेच रहे हैं, shares बेच रहे हैं. You think about it. I don't know how many of you dabble in the stock market. You know, you are MBA students. You better know how that happens. So, stock market is a place where you buy and sell stocks. Okay, stock means shares of companies. You cannot sell a stock unless there is a buyer. Share market का मतलब है buyers and sellers. So if somebody is selling a stock, you can conduct a sale, you can execute a sale, you can complete a sale only when that stock is sold from A to B personally. So for every seller, there has to be a buyer, otherwise there is no deal. So if I am NDTV or CNBC, or if I am saying there is a wave of selling today, for every seller there was a buyer. Why doesn't the headline say there was a wave of buying today? Actually, it is correct. For every buyer, for every seller, there is a buyer. But the headline doesn't say today in the stock market there is a wave of buying. Yeah. Another example of why this is misleading. That so you got to be careful. So if you are all going to be students of economics, finance, analytics, I think we train you in business analytics, in all that. So this is the way. That's why you need to go behind the headlines. I mean, just to give you another example, this another favorite example of how economics can be confusing. There was this lady called Priyanka Chopra. You heard of her? She got the national award for her acting in a role in a movie called Mary Kom. Have you heard of that? Yeah. You know what was Mary Kom? Member of Parliament also. 6 times world champion boxing. 6 times. So Priyanka Chopra got paid more for playing the role of Mary Kom in one movie than Mary Kom made in her entire life. अब बताइए economics कैसा है? This is your homework for tomorrow. I'm not going to give you an answer. So basically, when you try to make sense of the world economy, these are the kind of puzzles you need to grapple with. I mean, these are all analytical puzzles. Right? You should not think of them as very trivial or something. You need a deeper understanding. You need to go beyond the headlines. You need to go beyond the just simple explanations. And so therefore, that will help you better understand what is going on in the political economy sphere. Because politics cannot be divorced from economics. Politics and economics go together. So, for example, if what is happening in Ukraine, that if you read only the Western press or the English press which comes from Washington or London, you will think Russia is a villain. But आपके border में अगर China ने या पाकिस्तान ने tanks लाए in the border of Rajasthan or Gujarat, they are going to just take it lying down. That was not happening. There was an agreement signed by NATO after the Second World War. There will be a buffer zone. There will be the Soviet bloc. The Soviet Union broke up into 10 countries. But there will be the Soviet bloc and there will be this Atlantic or the Western nations. And there will be a buffer zone. So it was agreed that countries would remain neutral. Finland is one of them, Ukraine is one of them, and so on. But then when they found that the NATO forces are now advancing, in fact, the American-led lobby called NATO is encouraging all these countries to join NATO. NATO is a North Atlantic Treaty Organization. North Atlantic Treaty Organization is an organization of North Atlantic nations. So Canada, US, and this and so that became, people, the Russians naturally were not very happy about it. And then you suddenly have, so even the likes of Mr. Kissinger, who is supposed to be the guru of all geopolitics and international relations, and another famous professor in Chicago called Mearsheimer. All of them have been talking about since 2008, 2014. This NATO expansionism is not, when Xi Jinping goes into Ladakh or goes into the Philippines, unko kuch panga liya, Japan ke saath those islands ka panga liya. The world is not happy. World not say, of course they are not, they are very troubled. So similarly, when NATO starts expanding, even the likes of Kissinger and all have said, this is not going to be healthy. You are provoking the Russians. And that is exactly what happened. And now you have this Ukraine situation, but because of Ukraine situation, you have now a global problem of inflation. Suddenly there is investor nervousness because in America they are talking about possible recession this year, and so on and so forth. So this is induced by geopolitics, which is politics and economics. They go together. Then now they think that India could discount mil raha. So India is at the receiving end. That we import 80% of the oil, and suddenly the calculation was the oil price will be $80 or $70, and then the 140. And that affects our entire economy. So if the Russians are giving us 25% discount, why should we buy from Russia? But if you buy from Russia, you know who is upset? Not just Americans. Saudi Arabia is upset. Qatar is upset. Abu Dhabi is upset. So that's why we had a statement from OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries. 57 Islamic countries, which includes Indonesia, it includes perhaps Nigeria, I think, or some African countries. It's interesting that the OIC has issued, a disclaimer to India about this Gokhale thing. But it's interesting that India has 200 million Muslims. So actually, the second largest Muslim population is not OIC, it's in India. But the main point may not be this, the main point may be the oil, the geopolitics. Like I said, go behind the headlines, understand what's the geopolitics behind this. So, and so on and so forth. And our friendship with Russia has been our most dependent ally in the last 60, 70 years. Most dependent ally. 65 war maybe, but definitely in 71 war, actually that was not war, there were 10 million refugees coming into India. And that time the US, president then, Nixon, they didn't look at the genocide that was going on in East Pakistan. They killing and raping of women was going on almost 500,000. Uske baad mein kuch nahi bola. But when Indian troops went in with the Mukti Bahini to help the what became Bangladesh later, the Americans sent the 7th Fleet, पूरा Navy भेजा है Bay of Bengal में. To threaten India कि how can you go invade another country? You are invading Pakistan. जैसे Russia is invading Ukraine, India was accused of invading Pakistan because East Pakistan did not belong to you. It's a different story that we of course withdrew after Bangladesh was liberated. But that time the ally which supported us was not China, was not America, was actually Russia. So repeatedly we have seen that actually Russia has been our most dependent ally. But of course we can't support, we can't be saying we support your Ukrainian invasion. So I think we are kind of very delicately balancing and trying to navigating the narrow space between not completely condemning Russians because even Kissinger has said कि आपने उनको इतना provoke किया कि they have been provoked to take this action, but at the same time not abandoning an ally. But we are under a lot of pressure. We are under a lot of pressure to basically go against the Russians. In the meantime, because the Russians are isolated, our great friend to the north is taking advantage and जाके उन्होंने गले लगे. So Russia and China are now a strong nexus. Russia says China will have become an actually. So actually, problem is that I'm not a professor fully yet, but if you give me the mic, आपको बड़ी देखना पड़ेगा. बोलते हैं ना कि इकोनॉमिस्ट लोगों को अगर माइक देते हैं तो माइकासुर बनता है. माइक को खा जाता है. So I need to wind up. I have to give some idea about the economy, right? So let me spend the last few minutes doing that. So point is that the world is under some uncertainty, and of course India will be affected. But the Indian economy is largely domestically driven. The large part of India's economy momentum, growth momentum comes from domestic factors. It is not to deny that we don't depend on external markets for export and of course import of oil. We have low strong international linkages. But being a large continent-sized economy, we have a domestic momentum also. And on that front, things are going reasonably well. I mean, this year has been a year of slowdown for various reasons, including what's happening in international arena. But we also have seen 101 unicorns, right? We have seen 101 companies with a valuation of $1 billion, which is 8,000 crores. Now, valuation doesn't mean cash and profits, but it does mean wealth. It does lead to recruitment. So I think this year, 22-23, we are going to see triple the amount of recruitment in anything related to IT or infotech. I mean, not just software companies, anything, for example, fintech companies, business analytics, companies which do back office work for American companies. This is an underestimate. You might see, I am now heading Gokhale University, which is the economics program. We had to turn away employers. Actually, a lot of employers wanted to come. We had to turn them away because everybody got placed. So I think that situation is going to continue next year or year after next. But as I said in the beginning that I mentioned what your cohort is. You are in a very tiny cohort where you've got a very good undergraduate education already. You are in one of the finest business schools in the country. So therefore, your chance of doing well further is almost 100%, 99%. But you will not do well only if you look left and right. And मुझे तो 12.7 मिला. Oh gosh, I have to be sad now. So if you want to be बेचैन and restless on that, so the people will say, हाँ मुझे package क्या मिला? Usually the word package is used when you are in placement. I know this is the first day. So Bhavna अभी school को गया. So you should not talk about 2 years from now. But 2 years from now, you'll be talking about package. So 12 lakh, 13 lakh, 11 lakh, this is package only. So don't think it 15 lakh नहीं मिला. That is sometimes that happens. इसलिए बोलते हैं ना वो MBA लोग बेचैन रहते हैं. B stands for MBA is महा बेचैन आत्मा. So don't be such beचैन people that because you are already in a cohort which is going to do very well. And please remember that when you graduate, many of you will be 23, 24, 25 years old. Your life expectancy, by the way, believe it or not, is 80. 75 to 80. So अभी तो शुरुआत है. You got to be that also keep in mind when you do your first job. People become restless. वहाँ बेचैनी वहाँ भी चलेगा. Yeah, boring. People leave jobs in a year or two. So I would say that give it a chance, give it some time, and you try it out for a couple of years before you decide to. Finally, I'd like to say that I'm tempted to give advice, but I should tell you the economy outlook is good. I mean, so just bottom line, if you ask me, last half an hour, economic outlook is good. It's going to improve. We are facing challenges of inflation, of oil prices, of fiscal situation. अभी ये जो चल रहा है OROP in defense forces. Madam Batra, she is a child of the armed forces. But we were just discussing. But this what you're seeing is because it's basically a fiscal challenge. But because we have a young demography, all our fiscal challenges are much more manageable. You should see what's going on in Japan in terms of fiscal challenges. In Japan, in Greece, in Italy, in Russia, they are much bigger fiscal. In Russia, not so much, but they are, compared to India, their challenges are much more severe. Because our young demography is actually means that our fiscal challenges are going to be manageable because we can always roll it out to the future. But what I do want to say is that this may require some patience. That's why I say that don't be so patient on day one. It will require that what you expect your package to be on that day will come 2 years later to you. They say, Prime Minister Modi says, India is going to be a $5 trillion economy. Finance Minister says, India will be a $5 trillion economy. But they never tell you when. उसका एक कारण है because you can't say when. It could be 2027, it could be 2028, 2010. वो आने वाला तो है जरूर. आएगा तो 5 trillion economy. But it's going to come, and that's the India's future. That it's definitely growing, expanding. Therefore, and the young demography is going to stay with us for us two decades, if not more, compared to many other countries. And that is going to be the abiding advantage. Combined with that, all these dynamism from the IT sector, from new practices, management practices, HR practices, more professionalism, more organization, the green economy, the digital economy, all these are drivers of this tremendous momentum. I think I heard Bhavna, you said something about it's going to be very positive, right? You're very optimistic. I second that. That's absolutely true. So I'm happy to engage with you later, but I just want to conclude by saying one more little homework for you, especially the incoming students. जिनका दीक्षा आरंभ आज है कि like she said, I would make a suggestion that tonight, go and write a letter, one-page letter, to yourself. Post it to the future. Keep it sealed and read it again after 2 years. Thank you.
So thank you so much for this motivating, illuminating, and especially thought-provoking address for the students. And the first learning which he started with, please deep dive to understand the data behind the business catchy lines. Please remember, as Sir has mentioned about the school first day, I read it somewhere when it said that school's first day is always a fashion show, but rest is a pajama party. If you remember, this business school is having 4 walls, which is having the future of yours. So I'm not telling it's easy, I'm telling it's worth it. So please spend your next 2 years with the faculties and other experiential learning of the college very wisely. Thank you so much, sir, for all this. Moving ahead, I would like to share that BIMTECH Center for Innovation in Entrepreneurship Development and Family Business has been another shining star. The CID has been formulated keeping in view the vision of BIMTECH, which strives to encourage entrepreneurship and also inculcate the same values in the students. Dr. Ajit, can I request you to kindly share your thoughts, please?
As usual, technical glitches are here, but let me try my best as it goes. Thank you, Vinu, for inviting me up here. And, good evening to our distinguished guests. I mean,
had the pleasure of listening to all of them. Dr. Ajit, I know I don't have to follow up with the speech at this year's State of Art. I would have done justice to that. And Ms. Bhavna Batra ji, thank you for being here. Our Director, Dr. Chaturvedi, Deputy Director, Dr. Verma, Dean Research, Dr. Sahai, Dean Students Welfare, Professor Chaturaj, faculty colleagues, parents, students, and all present here. Before I start with the big presentation, I would like to take a moment to thank all my colleagues and especially Mr. Anmol Chaturvedi, Management Government Schemes at AIC BIMTECH for the effort put in to make the annual report of nearly 100 pages. And to all the other colleagues and team members who did all the activities and programs to make the dreams of students a reality. So thank you so much. Just a quick thing, I know we are running short on time, so I'm just going to focus on 2 or 3 slides. And let me try again if I can make it full screen. Okay, thanks. Go ahead. So, is it moving? Are we able to see the next slide? No? So, Vishal, maybe you can help me out here. Thank you very much. So let me go on to the next slide. So these are the things that the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development does here in BIMTECH. So we have the National Innovation and Startup Policy. We do a lot of work under the Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell, the Institutional Innovation Council, and ECEL. Now this is going to be of interest to all of you because this is the inward-facing program that we have for all the students, and I will talk about that, plus the Incubation Center that is AIC BIMTECH. So this is the student connect that we have. The ECEL is a club which is for the students, by the students, and only guided by faculty members. So we do a lot of programs under that called Udyami, Kranti, Mind Your Business, and throughout the year there are a lot of activities which can help you hone your entrepreneurial skills. And besides these activities, you can also join in for short-term projects. Usually it's from 10 to 15 days, the project is there. You get an opportunity to work with our startup founders. You also get an opportunity to interact with international agencies. Last year we did work with the agencies, the Ministry of South Korea, the Ministry of Canada, and many more are there on the annual for this year also. Then we have summer internship. You can do the 60 to 75 days paid or unpaid internship. With the startups or with the incubation center, you get a lot of exposure to the startup and the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And then you also have something that we have here in BIMTECH called the Entrepreneurship Internship Program. That means if you have a dream, if you have an idea, come work with us. So this is in lieu of the summer internship project. And the CCR will guide you more on the details of that. So I'll not get into that. Going on ahead. So this is about AIC BIMTECH, as Dr. Chaturvedi and Dr. Ranade have said that we have been lucky to have a team which has really grown it to one of the best in the country. And the acceptance rates is less than 10%, which is the standards which are there for international incubation agencies. This is the impact which has been created. I'm not going to get into that. But you can see that 22 of the startups have raised funds and they have raised it more than 104.4 million rupees. These are some of the startup programs. The details are there on the website. So if you are interested in knowing more, reach out to us. We'll tell you where you can have the best treatment. So right from the ideation to the acceleration level, we have everything there for you. And each of the people who are there with us get $1.34 million worth of free benefits. And this has been created by collating benefits from more than 90 plus partners across the globe. Lots of corporate collaborations, HDFC, then we have LinkedIn, and lots others which are there. And these are some of the snapshots of startups who have been recognized by the Prime Minister. and also I don't need to tell you who it is. He's a legend in himself. Then here we have investments in our startups by people like Sukhbir Singh. I don't know how many of you know about him, but he's pretty well known here in the North Belt. And even a lot of public sector units invest in our startups. These are some of the BIMTECH startups, so created by BIMTECH students and alumni. So you can see some of them out here, and we hope to see many more. And this is the support that is provided. So different programs are there. Besides that, funding is there from the Government of India for the startups under the Startup India Seed Fund scheme up to 50 lakh. Then there is a Samrit scheme which gives up to 80 lakh. And we have also created a fund, a real-time fund, which gives follow-up funding up to 5 crores. Like I said, if you have an idea, reach out to us. These are some of the achievements, and this is where we are on the second floor of the academic block. Come in, drop in whenever you have the time, meet up with the team, and have a chat. Thank you so much. And the rest of it is there in the annual report.
Now we will be releasing the annual report 21-22 of BIMTECH CID and family business in the presence of Dr. Ranade and Ms. Bhavna.
Mr. Anmol Chaturvedi, are you here? If you are, please come over to the stage. Thank you very much, sir and ma'am. It's a privilege having you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Taking the ceremony forward, as a token of gratitude, we will now like to present a memento to our chief guest and guest of honor. I will now request Dr. Chaturvedi to kindly present a memento to Dr. Ajit Ranade as a token of our respect and gratitude to him. Can I now request Dr. Batra to kindly present the memento to Ms. Bhavna Batra as a token of our respect and gratitude. Thank you, sir and ma'am. BIMTECH has been honored with your presence here this evening. Thank you so much. May I now request Dean Academics, Deputy Director Dr. Anupam Verma to please propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Mini. Our honored and distinguished Chief Guest, Dr. Ajit Ranade, Guest of Honor, Ms. Bhavna Batra, our Director, Dr. H. Chaturvedi, Member Board of Governors, Mr. Alok Gupta, leading lights of the industry and academia, and other distinguished guests, parents, my faculty colleagues from BIMTECH, alumni, representatives from media, final year students, and new students. Let me also begin by extending a warm welcome to the new batch of students 2022-24. They represent almost the entire nation, as our director has mentioned earlier. We have students joining in the new batch, like in the previous batches, from almost every region of the country. For the next 2 years, this is their home. We are having this commencement day function in the digital mode after 2 years. The years 2020 and 2021 have been terrible in most parts, as we know. They have been devastating and frightening for anybody the world over. The education sector has also borne the brunt, almost destroying the old normal and creating a new normal. It was the digital interventions that salvaged the situation and kept it running. We have during these 2 years created an edifice that is now strong enough to face any situation. We have developed fairly strong online and offline systems and procedures, and a sound and reliable infrastructure has been created here at BIMTECH. Needless to mention that we have deeply researched and prepared ourselves to successfully face any new eventuality. Further, in spite of this setback, we keep striving to move up continuously to meet the raised standards. We have endeavored as well to continue to equip our faculty and students with the best possible resources, make our library services richer, revamp our syllabus in line with the industry requirements, expand and improve the facilities, and make it more vibrant and productive. The intention has been to achieve excellence in whatever we do. Our director in his address has also outlined how at BIMTECH we keep ourselves alive and aligned to the changing needs caused on account of completely changed environmental scenario. We are fortunate to have amongst us here today Dr. Ajit, a leading economist of our country. He has vast experience in understanding the economic situation of the nation. His suggestions on managing the economy are always worth looking into and are seriously considered by the government. He has so lucidly explained how we should analyze these statistics and the economic figures and not go only by the news, go beyond the headlines. He dwelt on the implications of Russia-Ukraine war on Indian economy. He also explained the prospects of Indian economy during the next few years. His address to you today has been truly inspiring and educating. It has also been a matter of great delight to have with us here Ms. Bhavna Batra. You have seen how effective and powerful orator she is. Her words of wisdom for our new students will go a long way in motivating them towards performing better during their stay at BIMTECH and thereafter. I express our sincere thanks and gratitude to both of them for their very interesting and absorbing addresses today on some pressing contemporary issues. The students, you are lucky to have them here as chief guest and guest of honor respectively in today's commencement day function for batch 22-24. Thank you, Dr. Ranade. Thank you, Ms. Batra. Promoting entrepreneurial culture is an important part of the school's activity. This is taken care of by our Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, headed by Dr. Ajit. The center has done a good job in documenting its efforts, and in the last academic year, through this report released today, I congratulate the center for its efforts. I convey our sincere thanks to the distinguished industry leaders, members of the academia, and other illustrious guests for gracing this function with their presence. We are indebted to them for joining us today in this moment of our happiness. For these students, I might say that by joining BIMTECH, you are embarking on an education system that is meant to be transformative, academically, socially, and personally. The curriculum has been developed in a manner that you will always be ready to face any problems or crisis in your future roles as managers or leaders. To ensure the continuity of teaching and learning while keeping your health, wellness, and career opportunities in mind. We have today many parents who have admitted their wards here in the hope of inculcating in them good values and excellent knowledge. It is a moment of pride for them. We are confident that their expectations will be met. I extend to them hearty thanks for being with us today. A word of thanks for everyone who has worked hard and contributed in organizing the commencement day function and all the related activities held in this connection. My special thanks are due to the campus team who have toiled hard in these summer months in this searing heat in taking up various activities towards making this campus ready for the new session. Their dedication and hard work is well appreciated. Before I close, let me once again welcome the new students and wish them all success. They are going to be our future flag bearers, and I want to assure them a very successful and satisfying 2 years here. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. So now, before we close this session, may I request all present to please arise and join in the rendering of our national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Ladies and gentlemen, now we have come to the end of commencement day program. I would once again wish good luck to the batch 22-24. Please note the academic procession will now leave the venue. All present are requested to keep standing till the procession leaves the venue.